5 or faith points as they call it.
Thank you. Hello everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Bhavani Pothraju, CEO at Faith Point Consulting. A few years ago, I was working in Delhi, India. I was looking at a way to stay connected with my community, even though I was several miles, 100 miles away. Yes, you might ask me, why can't you text them, call them, or create some Facebook group? Yes, I can do that, but I never felt that I'm fully connected or engaged with my old community or the new one which I moved into. So eventually, I started thinking what I can do, and then as a result, Faith Point was established. I wanted to be able to attend my old church and the new one and know what's going on in that. And I found out a new way. I started Faith Point consultation to work with churches and community organizations to bridge this gap and remove this disconnect. So what's our mission? Our mission is to create an easy-to-use environment for attending church and engaging with community through the use of information communication technology. So what was the exact problem? According to the Harvard Institute of Religious Research, more than 40% of people say that they were going to church, but statistics show that fewer than 20% of them attend. So more than 40,000 churches close their doors every year. And this is the chart which shows the average attendance say versus the actual fact, which means that only fewer than 20% of people are attending the church every week, and at least 40% of people think that they would attend it, but due to the busy schedules, they couldn't do that. So we are here to help them with a solution using information communication technology. So what was the solution? Churchgoers utilize our innovative connected application on their PCs or mobile devices to attend church remotely and keep engaging in their community. So our tonight's agenda would be covered by our team, and Connor Morse is going to deal with the sales and marketing. Abe Schroeder is going to speak about the app features. Emily Cleveland is going to deal with community engagement, and Ben Batten is going to speak about the technology we used in this. Connor Morse, introducing Connor Morse. He's the director of our sales and marketing. He did his Bachelor's of Science in Health Science at Ball State University. He had an experience of 2 years of clinical research at Riley Hospital for Children at IU Health. He increased Indiana Biobank recruitment by 700%. He also assisted with collection of biological specimens for numerous new biobanks and various hematology, oncology, and PICU research studies. He has personal interests including cooking, football, automotive restoration, and his family. He's a qualified salesman. He's going to explain you why having a mobile service platform for churches is important and beneficial. I introduce Connor Morse.
Thank you, Bhavani. Now, when most think about implementing a new service or a new technology, the initial reaction can be to take a step back or maybe pump the brakes. After all, especially if you're uninformed on the subject, the implementation can appear to be difficult to organize, confusing, and even potentially expensive. But I want all of you to stop looking at a mobile app or a website as just another piece of technology, but instead as an investment. 85% of time spent in smartphones is used directly in applications. Based upon this statistic, it's safe to say that people use their smartphones a lot. And if expanding your service is important to you, then this is a market that you need to take advantage of. 70% of churchgoers said that they use their smartphones for worship and to read scriptures as well. Today's society, especially the millennial generation, is extremely dependent on technology for news and information. 83% of 19 to 29-year-olds and 74% of 30 to 49-year-olds own a smartphone. And based upon that demographic, 80% of those individuals will check their smartphone within the first 10 minutes of waking up in the morning. The average American spends more time per day in applications than they do watching television. Smartphone applications unlock a more social and connected world. Churches with technological use are more likely to have active members that recruit within their own congregation. Having the ability to reach out not only expands your church, but also expands your community engagement. Here at Faith Point, we have developed an application that we would like to share with you to expand your role and strengthen your message within your own local community. Here to discuss the details about our application is our Director of Software Development, Abe Schreier. Abe Schreier got his Bachelor's of History and Political Science at Indiana University in Bloomington, and he's nearly finished with his secondary Master's of Science, Master's of Art and History at Ball State University, where he specialized in digital tools for history education. Abe brings to our clients and to our own team over 5 years of professional experience in policy, research, and web management. He managed web content design for the Missile Defense Advocacy Alliance, and later oversaw constituent relations and digital policy for the U.S. Capitol offices of Senators Richard Lugar and John Barrasso in Washington, D.C. Abe also worked for Wikistrat Incorporated, which is based out of Washington, D.C., and Israel to deliver state-of-the-art wiki-based platform for simulated geopolitical analysis. And he's also managed IT for Ball State University's Sponsored Projects Administration for over 2 years before coming here to Faith Point. Abe has traveled to Hawaii, Canada, the Caribbean, Latin America, Central Europe, and the Middle East. And his many personal interests include aerial drone enthusiasm, amateur astronomy, computer programming, and wilderness backpacking. Abe's diverse background and experience make him a very valued asset to our team, and I'd like for you to divert your attention over to him.
I'm going to talk today about how you can use mobile apps to enhance your churches. Remember, they're rarely further than an arm's length away from their mobile phones. Why not reach them where you know they'll be? With the digital bulletin feature, you can quickly and easily get them key church information in the app instead of having to wait a full week for another print cycle. Digital bulletins bring mass to the masses, as we like to say here at Faith Point. Digital bulletins are environmentally friendly and will help your church cut down on its printing budget. By keeping information centralized in the app, the bulletin helps you put vital information at the members' fingertips, get more involved, and invite their friends. Our digital bulletins make content input and consumption easy by making it digital and mobile. These are stock footage examples of a mobile app ecosystem we at Faith Point can create for your church and community, a mobile ministry for a mobile age. We offer everything from easy-to-use website control and member portals to tablet and phone cross-compatibility. Whether you want 5 features or 30 features, every ICT system built on the award-winning Faith Point platform is unique and personalized to your satisfaction. My team and I will sit down one-on-one with you to ensure that your custom mobile app ecosystem is problem-free, secure, and regularly updated. We at Faith Point will make the finished mobile app readily available on the Google Play and App Stores to engage users with some of our features like announcements, alert and update members on upcoming events and newsworthy items, worship set, make it easy for churchgoers to access songs and live stream sermon outside of services, connection card to collect new visitor information digitally and easily, weekend response forms, pull members on specific topics and needs, prayer request submissions, give users a channel to share their needs and support, service opportunity and sign up, coordinate philanthropy, volunteerism, and community service, event registration, makes it easier than ever to RSVP from your church's calendar on demand. And finally, and most important, biblical wisdom. Find and send inspiration from Scripture with our biblical reading plan features, and we offer many more that we can discuss with you at a later date. Now I'm going to introduce Emily Cleveland, our Director of Communications here at Faith Point. She has a bachelor's degree in music education. Before coming to this company, Emily owned and managed her own voice studio with over 30 students. This experience allows her to bring creative solutions to different situations, as well as strengthen her managerial and communication skills. Emily has also worked in several churches and offers our company an insider's perspective to church community engagement. She has traveled to Spain, Italy, Trinidad, and Japan, where she lived for 3 months. While traveling, Emily enjoyed learning about different cultures and engaging with the local community. her passion for people can be further seen as she volunteers much of her time at the local Boys and Girls Clubs. I want to introduce Emily Cleveland.
Thank you, Abe, for that introduction. As our CEO Pavni said earlier, when she moved away, she wanted to get involved with her new local community, but didn't know where to begin. Our app is designed to help give people that direction. I'm going to expand a little bit on two of the community engagement features that Abe mentioned. For example, your church can utilize our service opportunities sign up, whether your church is hosting a yard cleanup or needing volunteers for a food pantry or after school kids program. Your members can use this app to sign up for such events as well as notify other members in the community so they can get involved with this easy sign up feature. There's also the upcoming events list, whether your church may be organizing holiday functions such as trunk or treating or small groups night, open gym, whatever this may be. This feature notifies the user of such events and has this RSVP capability so that whoever is in charge of the event has an approximated head count. Both of these features allow app users to send invites via email or text message, and that's a way to invite other members of the community to get involved with your church and, more importantly, with your local community. It also has the ability to post via social media, which is a more public way of notifying the community of such events that are upcoming with your church. And these posted links will connect the user to the app as well as to the website to get more information. Now I would like to introduce Ben Batten, who will talk more in-depthly about the technology aspect of our Faith Point organization. Ben has worked in manufacturing for several years before getting his undergraduate degree in public history at Ball State University in 2010. This background in manufacturing has given Ben a strong work ethic as well as firsthand experience in using technology to get the job done. During Ben's undergraduate years, he interned with Ball State University's Archives and Special Collections and used this time to utilize technology in an educational setting. During this time with the Archives and Special Collections unit, he turned his focus from history to technology. Ben has also worked at Ball State University's School of Nursing in the Simulation and Information Technology Center for nearly 8 years. During this time, he has gained experience using information communication technology software. His main task was to bridge the gap between on-campus and distance students by using this information communication technology software such as Jabber Video, WebEx, GoToMeeting, just to name a few. Ben was also instrumental in transitioning nursing students from mobile devices to iPads as technology advanced. During his time at the School of Nursing Simulation and Information Technology Center, Ben gained experience training faculty, staff, students, and administrators on the proper use of technology in their department. This experience demonstrates Ben's ability to lead our tech department as we will work with you to set up the technology and as well as train you to use it effectively. Ben has been married since 2006 and has 2 children, ages 4 and 6. Ben and his wife are actively involved in their community, and Ben brings this passion to our organization as we develop and expand our product. Ben has been interested in technology and computers since the mid-1990s. Although he's only worked professionally in information and technology since 2008, he's been working on computers and has been interested in technology for over 20 years. And now, here is Ben.
Thank you for that warm introduction, Emily. And you think Simulation Information Technology Center is hard to say? We have to say it every time we answer the phone. So, as you said, my name is Ben Batten, and I'm the Director of Technology here at Faith Point Consultation Group. So you might be asking yourself, well, why are we talking about this now? Why not 2014? Why not 5 years ago? Well, as you can see, 84% of adults currently use the internet on a regular basis. So what this means is they have the tools to connect with one another, but what they lack or what they may need is this link or this bridge to bring them together, and that's what we're hoping to provide here. Now, I don't want to bog you down in the technology or the specifics of the technology involved here, because everybody's case is different. So we do it on a case-by-case basis. But ultimately, what it means is that the devices were accessible to everybody, whether you're using an iOS device, a Windows phone, an Android device, it doesn't matter. If your computer or device can connect to the internet, the service can work for you. We can connect you to a sermon, we can use the apps, the features that Abe described earlier. One of our biggest selling features is that the service is very scalable. So whether you have 30 to 40 people in your constituency right now, we can accommodate that. If you have that many and are looking to grow by maybe not leaps and bounds, we can accommodate that easily as well. Or even if you want to become a mega church and have hundreds of members, we can accommodate that, but we may need some additional technology and networking that we can work out at a later time. But we're also fully customizable. If you just want to be able to stream your sermon or have stream your sermon to your constituents, then that's fine, we can work with that. But if you also are interested in some of the apps that we offer and the streaming ability, we can make that work as well, or if you just want the apps. Another big feature is our storage. All of these broadcast events are recorded so that they can be viewed at a later time, whether streamed or downloaded to be reviewed, to be watched on maybe in their car, if they're traveling and they want to listen to the sermon in the road, but they don't want to eat up their data plan. So we can accommodate that with our secure storage, and we use the latest technology involved, or possible, to make sure that this is a seamless and smooth download for them. In addition to that, we also offer innovative research. So what we'll do is continue researching emerging technologies as they come about and make sure that you're aware of them, because there may be new technologies out there that you're not aware of, and we find out and you think this would be perfect for what you need. So we'll continue that research for you and let you know, and we can adapt as needed. So now I have the pleasure of introducing our CEO, Pavni Pasraju. Pavni got her bachelor's degree in electronics and communication engineering at the NRI Institute of Technology, where she gained the underlying skill set needed to ultimately form this company. And one of the projects that she worked on there was the face recognition software project. And this really gave her her first taste of projects, or managing projects of people at an advanced level. For those unfamiliar with what face recognition software is, it's the similar to the biometric security protocols used on your thumbprint scanner on your iPad or iPhone, or like a retina scanner. But instead, this uses facial recognition. So you walk up to the door and it recognizes your face and it'll let you in without having to stop or whatever you're being locked behind. After working at after graduation, she worked for a company in Delhi called Infix Solutions as a programmer analyst. There she gained some experience in programming languages of HTML5 and JavaScript, which remain the forefront of programming markup technology. HTML5 is quickly replacing Flash as the stable markup language used in browsers for any of those that have used MediaSite and Google Chrome lately and are forced to switch to Firefox because they no longer support Flash. These skills would eventually be used to work with the software developers to create the platform used at FaithPoint. Shortly after her work at Infix Solutions, she became the executive director of the fundraising team for Dakshina Foundation, a home for the physically disabled children. Here she gained leadership skills needed to run the full-time operation like FaithPoint. It was also while at this foundation that she was inspired to start a consultation group that would help facilitate this connection between people in their communities or with religious institutions through the use of information communication technology. She studied while working to get her degree in electronics and communication engineering. Pavni's tenacity and desire to succeed stems from a love of sports as well. Playing basketball and skateball in high school, she competed regularly at the regional and district level and even won nationals once. With a great mixture of skills and experience we are fortunate to have Pavni as our CEO. And now I'd like to turn the floor over to Pavni for a few concluding remarks.
Thank you, Ben. Wrapping up, FaithPoint is all about easy to use for the church and community engagement with the use of information communication technology. So now I would like to accept the questions from you.
I mean, I would assume some of your people are gonna be in like more rural areas. So I guess what kind of bandwidth or what kind of network speed do they need? Is it gonna be accessible to everybody?
Take that question.
Yeah.
The answer is the more speed, the better. Obviously, they would want broadband internet if possible, which actually as of, I think earlier this year, is up to now 25 megabits per second to be defined as broadband. But even the slower internet speeds in the rural communities, such as if they have a satellite phone or some, or satellite service or something like that, would do the job. They may not be able to live stream, especially at a high resolution, but they can still download and do the podcast at a later date if they needed to, and still the app features would work because they don't require a high-speed connection. But the streaming, higher better, but we can make it work with whatever.
One more question from another team, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have a question. Our church is very budget challenged per se, and I feel like it would be a good fit for us, but I'm not sure what can your team do to help us figure out how to pay for it?
Can I do that?
Yeah, sure.
As specifically with the app content, it's really budgeted based upon your needs and wants. Usually you can get an app for fairly cheap. Initial startup costs are what's really gonna cost you, but it wouldn't be too expensive depending on what kind of features you wanted. As far as a web-based service, if you wanted a specific domain for your specific church, I know prices can go as low as $5 a month, which I think can fit into anybody's business. And if you didn't mind a few ads on a specific website, such as Wix, you can have a website up for free. You just have to spread that direct domain that they give you to your actual service, your congregation.
And speaking to the technology involved too about it, we can do this as simply as with the webcam and the internet that you already have at your church. So if your church already has Wi-Fi and we just get them a $30 webcam, it may not be the best service, but it's a start. That's for the budget conscious.
And finally, a faithful design in mind for budget-conscious congregations. So many of our services will not only will boost attendance, and that in turn will boost your budget. So that's the self-driving mechanism that Faithful offers.
I'd like a team to express our professional courtesy, please.
We would like to thank you very much for coming and showing us your presentation. We will discuss it and get back to you soon.
Thank you.
All right, do we have evaluators ready? Why don't we use the lectern for the evaluation and the team can stay at their area.
Anything specific you would add?
Establish the problem.
So with team one, we thought you guys did, or you all did a great job. We enjoyed the content of your presentation for the most part, covering that your service is scalable and customizable, very accommodating to your clients. There's a lot of reading off of your notes, which is something that you might want to just practice more in presenting. And then we also thought that you had smooth transitions in between presenters, and setting your name tags in front of your presentation was helpful as well.
All right, and team four, going to echo some of those same remarks. Very good projection and voice control, and eye contact was good, but we would say one area of opportunity was reading from notes. It seemed like everyone kind of followed that cue, that they were reading quite a bit, and not as maybe as extemporaneous. But the solution was awesome. You incorporated a solution that we're working on and studying a lot of other classes. And one of our group members evaluated, said it was probably the best performance so far of the year. Thank you.
I also
also thought this was a very good presentation. I really like the professional appearance of the presenters. You look like $1 million. I think it's great. The people have already pointed out about reading a little bit from the notes that obviously would come with practice, but you know, in theory, you've already practiced. Once again, there's a bunch of looking over the shoulder. I really want everybody to work against that because professionally, these days, people have their presentation in front of them, and that's part of the trick, is not, I mean, you sometimes might gesture to it, but lots of reading over your shoulder. And once again, I say that Dr. Jones in particular, that's one of his pet peeves about presenters, and let's just adopt this. Let's say it's probably not the best way to present because it draws you away from your audience, whereas if you can look at your audience. Remember what I told you is that in professional conferences, they very often have the monitor in front. There's no reason we can't do that if we wanted to, and that's something to work on. But the easy way to do is to have, you know, a laptop or something. I think we have done this a bit to many of the teams. Is we're rushed to get to the end of the time. We're really not. And I want to remind you of the Global Forum. I really was jammed up, and even though I did it pretty fast, I still worked really hard on my enunciation because I had an international audience. And the enunciation for several of you is not yet at broadcast quality, and this is our goal. For we as professional communicators to have broadcast quality. One of the tricks is to just slow yourself down and increase your enunciation. Actors do this all the time. Didn't we have someone in this class, there might have been the other class, exercises for the mouth that actors do? Did we do that in this class? But if Mrs. Smith sometimes comes in and does this for the students. Actors, to work on their enunciation, have sort of nonsense things that they say as a voice exercise. So Emily, you were really good at this. I think your performance background shows, and so I think you can work with your team to help them with this. But the trick is mainly to slow down. And then the slower you go, the more people can do this. There's a famous quote from George McGovern, very liberal senator from South Dakota, a sort of Roosevelt Democrat when he started his career. And he said people were kind of worried where he was from, that his ideas were kind of dangerous. So he slowed his voice real slowly so that they weren't threatened by it. He wasn't a fast-talking salesman, and that's something to work on your enunciation. But in general, one of the things I really liked about this team was that they did a very good balance. You did a very good balance of the people information and the company information. And then finally, let me finish up with something I hope you have noticed. This is one reason I do this exercise in this way, in this class. This is a real world exercise in that we've got real people that are being introduced to a bunch of other real people until you really find out what kind of a power that we have in this student body in our little community. There's a lot of credibility here. And so I may have mentioned last week when I went to my class that the Yale professor said that the two things when you are presenting information, the two things that matter are the information content and the information credibility. And this team did a good job on both those things. Very credible team. I would hire these people. I'm sure you would too. And one of the things I hope you can see that when CICS kind of ramps up and puts on our marketing face, now you know why we have so many people getting jobs, is because CICS will do the job for you. That's who we are. And this team gave that presentation. So good job, and thank you for your presentation.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Did we bring this?